And you never fucking washed your hands, you nasty fuck. So,
I want to start this video off by saying that these stories aren't the kind of stories where you will sit in your room terrified, but instead to let you know that these kinds of things can happen to anyone, and that you should be aware of your surroundings. Because even in a public restaurant, you can witness some pretty terrifying things, or even worse, they can happen to you.
Like hell.
Let's begin.
Not me. I'm hauling ass. Fuck out of here.
This happened about a year ago in my first semester of college. I went to art school in New York City, and my suite mates and I had a craving for fast food at around 12:30 a.m.
Right.
We, of course, decide on the McDonald's down the street because, you know, we're classy as fuck. It was me, my suite mate Kat, and her boyfriend Tom. We order our food, Kat and I decide to split a shit ton of chicken nuggets, and we pick a table by the door. Tom and Kat are sitting next to each other, holding hands as couples do, and I'm sitting there being the awkward third wheel and gorging myself on chicken nuggets.
The motherfuckers.
In walks a slightly disheveled gentleman who starts to wander aimlessly in the direction of the register. We think nothing of him. I watch as he goes to order his food and turn back to my friends to chat. Suddenly, Kat mutters, "Anna, behind you." So I turn around and there's the slightly disheveled gentleman again.
Okay, we started with this shit. We're doing this? Okay, I'm getting the fuck up and I'm walking out. Point blank period. Like, what the fuck? Why are you behind me, bruh? I don't know you. You're a complete stranger. Right? We have never met. We have never talked. We have never seen each other. This is our first time seeing each other. So why the fuck are you behind, like directly behind? People, come on. Let's go. Please, let's get the fuck up out of here. I knew we should have went through the drive-thru. But no, y'all want to sit in this, see? Let this shit happen again, and you best believe I'm ending my friendship with both of you all. For real.
This time, he's holding a flashlight. I turn back around to Kat and shrug, figuring it's just some harmless weirdo. I feel a tap on my shoulder, so I turn around again and the guy asks, "The light isn't working in the men's room. Can one of you hold this flashlight while I use the bathroom?"
Are you serious?
Seriously? Kat, being the nicest and most outgoing person of the group, responds first. "Maybe you should tell an employee that the lights don't work. I bet they could figure it out for you." "I'll only be a minute," the guy mutters and holds the flashlight out to us. "Could one of you just hold this while I pee?"
Dude,
he insisted.
What the fuck?
Tom answered next, as I was determined to ignore the man. "No, just go ask an employee to go fix the lights."
Please.
"But I'll only be..." The man began again, but I interrupted him with a firm, "Fuck off." It was a weird situation, made only weirder when, as we were leaving, Kat said, "You know, he never went into the bathroom in the first place. How would he know the lights didn't work?"
Huh? She's smart. I would have left a long time ago.
I was living in a low-income housing apartment in Minnesota, and at the time, my mom and I simply couldn't afford to have an actual internet provider.
Oh.
This meant I leached off of people in my building who had an unprotected wireless connection.
Right.
Whenever their internet connections would go out, I would be forced to walk down to McDonald's in order to use the free Wi-Fi there. This had become a pretty common thing for me. On one of these internet droughts, I was standing about in the lobby of my apartment about to leave when the guy who lived next door to me, an older guy named Joe, stops me before I go. He tells me that him and another of my neighbors were going to McDonald's for coffee and that he'd buy me one if I went along. I figured, why not? I didn't really know much about Joe since I mostly kept to myself. Now, let me explain Joe. He's hunchbacked with a beer gut, and his ZZ Top-esque beard was full of food crumbs that I can only assume were from a McBiscuit.
Wow.
But he seemed like a nice guy, so I went along. After a ride in his rickety truck through the Minnesota winter, I was happy to finally reach McDonald's. Ah, free Wi-Fi at last. And, if Joe held up to his word, a free McCoffee as well. I sit down and fire up the laptop to soak in all that free Wi-Fi, and soon after, Joe comes back with our McCoffees. As soon as he sits down, he starts asking me in a raspy voice, "So, boy, ever heard of God's DNA?"
What?
I look up from the Windows loading screen and ask, what?
I feel like this whole shit is about to take a turn for the worse. Who the fuck who starts the conversation like that? That's like saying, randomly, it's quiet as fuck in the room. But that's like saying, you ever seen a dog fuck? That's what you said. That's equivalent to saying, I don't know what you said, like something about God's DNA. What? Come on. That's a red flag. That's all I'm saying.
I was totally baffled and thinking, great, stuck with another fucking missionary. Damn it. He goes on to inform me that God's DNA is the molecules that hold the universe together. Not to mention, it's what makes men genetically superior to women. I sure as shit didn't learn that in physics class, so I blew him off, and when I got the chance, quietly ducked into another booth to browse the internet in peace. He didn't seem to notice because afterwards, a barrage of freaky bearded lumberjack dudes would come in and out of the McDonald's and talk to him for like 15 minutes at a time. I can only assume they were talking about God's DNA because I did my best to not pay any attention, but Joe and his gang of weirdos still gave me a very creeped out feeling. I could tell that they kept looking over to stare at me when they thought I wasn't looking. Having had enough weirdness for the night, I decided to duck out when he hobbled off to the bathroom. I assume only to take an epic McShit. I took my chance, folded up the laptop, and headed out to brave the cold Minnesota winter on the way back home. I reckoned that having to put up with the elements was still preferable to being around a bunch of weird-looking lumberjack creeps. I was almost back to the apartment when I heard the truck slowly rolling up and crunching in the snow. I looked over my shoulder and I saw Joe in his truck. Next to him was another one of those fucking bearded bums from McDonald's. I waved to them, but I got no response. Whatever, I thought. I went home for the night after that creepiness. But then, after that, every time I went to McDonald's, either Joe or one of his weirdo lumberjack buddies would be there. I could practically feel them leering at me. They always appeared grungy and disheveled. Forced to go to McDonald's just to use the internet, I tried avoiding them as much as possible. It almost seemed as if they knew ahead of time that I was going to be there. Considering they all had a relationship with Joe, I think it was very likely that they actually did. Eventually, someone broke into Joe's apartment and stole his bike, prompting him to move elsewhere. I learned a couple things about Joe after he left the apartment, such as that he traded most of his food stamps every month for drugs, and that he regularly told women in our apartment that he wanted to, quote, leave his body in spirit and ravish them in their sleep.
What?
Whatever that meant. After this point, I saw the McDonald's stalkers only sparingly and then never again.
Sometimes you can't trust your motherfucking neighbors. Even your neighbors can be strangers.
I've never really thought of this experience as a particularly scary one, but the feeling of being trapped strangely resonates with me to this day. For a little bit of backstory, I was going to meet up with my friends and future roommates at the realtor office. We had all met about a week previous and already pooled our money together in order to pay for the apartment's rent, a steep $3,500. I was more or less taking the lead on finding and acquiring the apartment, therefore I was also delegated to holding everyone's money. I'm a particularly timely person and don't like being anywhere late, so I managed to get to the realtor's office about 30 minutes early.
Right.
Having missed lunch, I decided to just get a few things from the dollar menu at the McDonald's next door. I walk in and it's your fundamental McDonald's, a few college kids, a few homeless people, and an older Asian gentleman sitting at a table by himself next to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom, so I make my way over there and walk into the bathroom to do my thing. It's a one-person bathroom and the door was broken a bit, disabling it from ever being able to fully close. I start to pee when I hear a few steps from behind and a weird chuckle. I'm usually not good at stopping peeing mid-pee. This time, however, I was on point.
Okay, I can do that shit. You know, if there's been times where I mean, not necessarily like I can stop my. Is this appropriate? Like I can stop my pee, and just in case of an emergency. Like if there's a motherfucker that's coming and that's trying to get me, or some weird shit is happening. Oh, and I'm peeing. I'm cutting it. And I'm talking to I'm talking down there and be like, yo, put a pause on this. Stop fucking peeing. Pause for like the next 10 minutes and we gonna haul ass. And then I don't care what you do, you just look, all I'm saying is that I can stop my pee more often than not. You know, that's all. That's just throwing it out there.
Turn around and see him trying to close the door behind me and clumsily fumbling with the standard silver lock that are in these types of bathrooms. My mind, knowing I have $3,500 in my backpack, instantly goes into fight reaction. I lunge over to him and grab his shoulders, pushing him up against the wall and only manage to say the words, "No, no, no." While I'm saying these things, he's still smiling and chuckling the whole time, which is the most vivid thing I remember from this whole thing. I then push him out of the way, leave the McDonald's, and go straight to the realtor. It is fully possible that this was a normal guy, expecting it to be a bigger bathroom, and for that, I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Fuck no.
That being said, I'm still morbidly curious what would have happened if I didn't manage to stop peeing halfway through that day.
You would've got your shit fucked up. And you never fucking washed your hands, you nasty fuck. Are you serious? You didn't even sanitize, you didn't do nothing.
So, I work at a small McDonald's in an even smaller town in the south, and I've encountered many strange people and seen some really fucked up things so far. But I saw something today that I thought I would never see, and I was shocked at how many people didn't notice what was taking place right in front of them. I was working behind the counter at around 7 p.m. and we had lots of people in the lobby and a few children as well. I like kids, so I usually watch them play around in the lobby because they're really funny, but I got distracted by the large amount of customers we had to serve and ignored them for about 15 minutes. I looked back when I heard a man ask in a small voice, almost whispering, "So, how old are you?"
Oh no!
I turn around to see this extremely tall guy with a shaved head and a red shirt talking to a little girl who looked about 5 or 6.
Wow.
He had a little boy around the same age on his shoulders who was giggling. I saw that they were happy and the guy seemed friendly, but something in my head was extremely worried. I had a huge suspicion upon seeing this that these kids were not his.
No
I mean,
shit.
after all, what grown man would ask a little girl how old she is? And if he knew who they were, wouldn't he already know?
Fucking creep.
Why would he care?
Pedophile.
But After this, he said something that made my heart sink. You should come with me now. I have a little brother who's 6'2". Let's go play with him.
Oh, no.
He then began to walk to the exit with the boy on his shoulders and the girl tagging along, and I immediately shot for the door to stop him. I did this just as a lady with blonde hair came out of the bathroom shouting, "Hey, where are you guys going? Get over here!" The tall guy froze with eyes as big as saucers. He was fucking petrified. The lady then scooped the little girl in her arm and reached for the boy as the tall guy lets him down, stammering, Oh, I was just playing with your kids. They're really nice kids. I just really like kids."
What the fuck?
He said this all at once with a nervous smile. The blonde lady then faked a smile back, but still had eyes that clearly said, "Stay the fuck away from my children, you fucking creep." But her mouth ended up saying, "Oh, well, I'm glad you had a nice time, but we need to order now." And then she led her kids to the back of the restaurant. The tall guy then hurried out of the front exit, and the lady clutched her kids close to her the entire time she was there, even in their booth. If I ever see that guy at work again, I will immediately call the cops on him. Who knows what would have happened to those kids if I wasn't looking, or their mother hadn't come out of the bathroom at that very second. I think that it's awful that she left her kids unattended in a full restaurant lobby, but no one deserves to lose their children to a disgusting creep with a sick grin like that.
That creep and the mom who were both bullshitting. That's all I'm saying. For real. Come on, bro. You got like 5 to 6 year olds. Like, they're not even fucking 10. I don't even know how old your kid or kids have to be in order.
Hey, the video's over, so don't listen to this part of the video unless you care about me and not just the stories. So, just a little update for you guys. I want to do a video on scary dating app stories, so if you have any personal experiences on websites like Plenty of Fish, Tinder, sites like that, please send your stories to me. Real experiences only, please. And remember, it doesn't need to end in you almost losing your life or something intense like that, as long as it's plausible, like if you get stalked or something creepy. If anything like that fits something that happened to you, email your personal story into the email in the description. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, I was wondering if you guys would be up for some fun shenanigans in the future. I know this channel is just something for you to listen to, but I think it'd be fun for us to all start a hashtag on Twitter or maybe get a celebrity to tweet at me or something. Like, for example, 500 of us tweet at a famous rapper telling them to tweet at me, or just maybe show some love to the Corpse Army. I think it'd be pretty funny, and I think a good first target would be members of the FaZe Clan or other big YouTubers like that who are somewhat responsive. It'd be pretty funny to see them comment on my videos or something. I don't know, I just think it'd be a fun thing for all of us to do together. That way it's more than just talking to you guys, it's working together to get something done in a harmless and fun way. But if you're not for this, just let me know. I just like interacting with you guys more. Okay, so that being said, on to updates about the P.O. Box and the giveaway stuff. So, like I said about the fan mail / gifts you send me, I still might possibly be doing a fan mail opening video. I say possibly because I have no idea how I am in front of a camera, and if I end up being horribly awkward, I probably won't do one. But if you want to send me some stuff, hopefully nice stuff, my P.O. box is in the description. Please don't send me money. I don't want your money. And as for the giveaway, I'll probably make a video tomorrow showing the winners, because if I don't, people will probably say I faked it or something. So yeah, look out for that, and you have one more day to enter it. The link to that video will be in the description as well. Anyways, that's it. You're all awesome, and once again, please let me know if you guys think the Twitter thing would be a fun idea, and if you'd partake in it. Because it means nothing to me if, like, for example, Carl from The Walking Dead tweets at me. I mean, it'd be cool, but not as cool as saying, "Wow, look how cool Corpse Husband's subscribers are. They just work together to make Carl from The Walking Dead respond to them. The corpse army is to be feared. Alright. Well, have an awesome day and stay safe.
You too, man. You too. I could have easily just cut him off completely, and I could have just kept talking. But I like when people are talking to me. I do not like to interrupt. I just like for people to just keep talking. But especially if it's a video, because you never know what they're gonna throw at the end of the video. So that's why I always like to keep the video playing. But back to what I was saying, I don't know how old your kids have to be in order for you not to, like, in order for you to take your eyes out, like, off of them. Like, how old? Is it a mental thing? Is it an age thing? You gotta work with me. Like, is it, no, not 10. Fuck no. 14? No. 6? 17? Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna say 4. No. No, okay. No, I can say 14. No, 13. 13 with like 2 or 3 other of your friends. Not 13 you just go the fuck off and you don't say nothing. That's how you get fucked up. But come on, if your kids is like 5 or 6, keep your eyes on your kids at all times. If you have to use the bathroom, take them in with you. If you have to go somewhere else, take them in with you. If you're busy fucking, put a blindfold on your kids and take them in with you. Keep your eyes on your kids at all times, because shit like this can happen. You best believe that. There's some creepy motherfuckers out here that you all do not want to fuck with. I ain't being dead ass serious. But what's funny about McDonald's is that I don't eat McDonald's, but not anymore. I stopped eating that shit years ago, like a long ass time ago. Because that's what that's a different story of why I stopped eating McDonald's. But I still go into, I still walk into the restaurant, but not to eat, just to get other people, other food for people. And I've been doing it, for quite some time, and I can honestly say that McDonald's has some of the beautiful, less beautiful, creepy, weird, they have a lot of different people, like a lot. They got McDonald's have some customers that will make you just like, ooh, don't touch me, ooh. Or McDonald's have some customers where, they have bad vibes, McDonald's, fuck, they're just, why the fuck is McDonald's so fucking popular? Have you seen what they use, for their meat and all of that? And that's all I'm saying, I think the best thing about McDonald's is that they got Wi-Fi. And they were smart about that, because you can bring a lot of people with that shit. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers come to Chipotle just to use Wi-Fi, but we don't have Wi-Fi. Oh, at my location, we don't have Wi-Fi at the Chipotle that I work at, but I think that's a great way to get anybody to lure. I can't say that word. To to get somebody in is free Wi-Fi. McDonald's, y'all are some slick motherfuckers. But you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me, some bitches. But look, I don't eat McDonald's. And there's a very good reason why I don't eat McDonald's anymore. But if you eat McDonald's, that's okay. I'm just gonna say okay. It's not great, but hey, fuck it. But yeah, I've came across a lot of different people in McDonald's. Some good, some bad, some weird, and some just plain out creepy. But with all of that being said, keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family, nigga, peanut.